Hey, Soul Fam. How goes it? I'm a little blue today. Not really, but I am. Look at this. My hairdresser gave me this bluing shampoo, and it gave me blue highlights. I should be wearing, I'm wearing brown today. I should be wearing blue to complement it. I'm not even worried about it. I'm going to give you a couple items to choose from for your message. The little girl or the horse. Which do you choose? The little girl or the horse? This is my birthday card. It was my birthday in April, and my bestie from the Midwest, he sent this. A little late. Oh, it's a carrot for Francis. I literally said, that looks like my mother. And the horse is my grandmother. Oh my goddess. My grandmother was an Aries horse. And I said, I think this is my mom and my grandma. And it's telling me that they are both with me. Because yesterday I was very blue. And the day before. I feel much more grounded today. So that's incredible. Hold on, Peg. I'll let you out in a minute. So the little girl. So that might be something to do with your mother. And this is my grandmother, my hero. So let's see. For those who chose the little girl, my mom, Francis. Maybe it has to do with the name Francis, St. Francis of Assisi. I'm worried about Bust a Move right now. My feral Buster. I haven't seen him in 2 days, and I'm worried about him. Okay, first message out is miracles. So have faith that your miracle's on its way. Your progress, your prayers have been answered, and you need to surrender the how it's going to be answered. Understand that a miracle is taking place. It isn't always necessarily the way that we see fit. It might be a different version of events. So if we can surrender to spirit as to how this comes about, it's going to be easier for us. But what they're saying is a miraculous outcome is already in flow. It's already in progress. And everything that you desire is already within you. And it has a lot to do with the way that you speak. I woke up this morning and I said, thank you so much for my incredible job. I love my job. Thank you for paying me so dearly for the work that I put in. I put in such a great amount of work. Thank you for the respect that I have been given for the work that I've done. Thank you for the blessings, and thank you for my health, and thank you for taking care of Bust a Move, and thank you for the miracle on its way. But do it like that, right? And then the next one is Goddess. Honor your divine feminine energy, see your inner beauty, and love every part of you. So one of the things that I was feeling blue about was that I didn't feel like my body was morphing as quickly as I wanted it to. And I know better than to say mean things about myself. But I saw mean things when I looked in the mirror. So this is about and I looked at myself today and what I was wearing, and I thought, you know what? If this was a different time, this was a Rubenesque time, I would be right in flow with exactly the way I'm supposed to be, right? So who says I have to be a certain way? It's something that's in your head because of what someone's told you or I grew up in California. So everybody that I see now has puffed up lips and cheeks that are implanted and hard rock fake boobs, and they all look the same, and I don't want to look like that. So, and I'm not talking every single person. I'm just saying that seems to be the norm. So the culture, it disempowers you. That kind of culture disempowers you, right? The media sets impossible standards for people. What did they say? What's the song? Taylor Swift song? Is it Taylor Swift? Victoria's Secret. It's a fat bald man in Iowa or whatever, right? It's not even real. It's not a woman who said that that's what a woman is supposed to look like. It's some guy, some fat balding guy thinks that that's the good thing. So rise up, Spirit says. Rise up and claim the inner goddess. Rise up. Because the message here is shun the pressure. Oh, gosh, this is incredible. Shun the pressure to look like you're sculpted according to someone else's pattern of critique, right? Shun that. I shun that. I was talking to my friend Lisa last night, and I was saying, you don't even, you look at their face, it's hard to look at them. She said that. It's hard for me to even look at them and have a conversation and not stare at all of these filled in spots and these lips that are so puffed that they can't move. And I said, they all look like they're an alien race. They look reptilian. They all look the same. And I don't want to look like that. I was looking at her last night, and she was super animated and funny, and I was laughing so hard, and I'm like, oh my God, you're so adorable. And then in my dream this morning, I was seeing my friend Danielle, and she was in her goddess flow. It was so beautiful. That's what I was dreaming about. And she was sitting cross-legged, and she was moving with the wind, and she was putting her arms up to a tree. And I said, God, she was gorgeous. And that's what I was doing at dance last week. So I was looking at Danielle and seeing the beauty in her. And yet Spirit says, can you see that beauty within yourself? Can you see that? So that was for those who chose Frances, my mother, who felt that she needed to look a certain way because of what she had been told her whole life. My mother was beautiful. She was short, she was chunky, and she was gorgeous. She had dimples. She had a straight nose. I always wanted to look like her. I have a pug nose like my father, and don't have the dimples. I got a thing for dimples. Dimples are sexy. All right, let's go to Grandma, my hero. And she was a workhorse. She carried everyone. And so this little girl is reaching out, and which makes me think my mother and grandmother had a difficult time as mother and daughter. And what makes me happy about this is I saw it right away. They're together, and my mom is reaching out to Grandma, and I love that message. So there's been a reunification in the spirit world, and that makes me more happy than I can tell you, because they died, both of them, not speaking to the other, and that's been undone. And I like that, because I don't want to carry that pattern, right? We need to pull the roots out of that structural norm, whatever it was that you grew up with. That's not your story. There's a different story that you're going to tell. So then the next one, for those who chose Grandma, is the goddess of the sacred path. The goddess of the sacred path. So let go of logic and trust your intuition. So what's interesting about this is we may get a feeling, a thought. That's our intuitive nudge. And it's telling us something that doesn't make sense to the logical mind. Doesn't make sense to maybe what someone has said to us, someone has taught us. So they're saying, let go of that logic. Let go of the mental confusion, the monkey mind, and let go of what you think is logical, and trust your gut. Trust your feelings. It doesn't make sense. It's been too long. It doesn't make sense. I don't know how that would happen. It doesn't make sense, because we're talking, the first message was about miracles. There's a miracle being engendered right now. It doesn't have to make sense, right? Because it's a miracle, because you don't know how it's going to happen. So what would you really love to do, have, or be in this world? Think about it. Speak about it as it is. Your heart holds that energy. Your heart knows what your soul craves. Everything is possible. Everything and anything. Start getting in alignment with what you feel, the feeling. That's why I started stating I am so grateful for my friend Lisa Lichny and for Danielle Probst, my two friends that lift my vibe and hear me when I'm feeling blue, allow me to have my sacred rage and hold that space with me, and yet reaffirm to me, you don't want to say mean things about your body, Sherri. And I know that, right? You want to be kind. And so then I started out this morning, completely different person. I just got a message from Lisa Lichny. She says, this might be us someday soon. I got to see what it is. But I sat there and I started listing off. I'm so grateful for them. Thank you so much for bringing me them as my friends and my confidants and my cheerleaders and my support system and my sounding board and my safe place to have sacred rage, right? Because you're allowed to have your feelings. That's what Danielle said. She goes, you're allowed to be upset. You're allowed, because when you see the contrast of what you don't like, it shows you and it gets you more in alignment with what you really do like and what you do really want to do and what you can manifest. And guess what? Let go of logic, because anything is possible. You can fulfill the greatest potential. That is what Danielle said to me. You have an amazing potential, and you now, by looking at this contrast, recognize, I want to do this. I wrote a book yesterday. I'm not to say much more about it, but I wrote a book. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I wrote a book. And I didn't know that I was going to write a book, even though during the weekly reading I heard myself say I could write. And I thought, I wonder what that is. Came out of nowhere. And Spirit kept saying, you're going to have an ingenious idea. And I picked up the book that Danielle gave me, and I started to write, I thought, a deck. And I looked at it, and I see that little curled up fox. Remember the little fox I saw in the forest that was dead? And then the rainbow, which is a promise of good things. That fox was folded right into the rainbow. That death, that ending. But now this larger than life one stood above it. And that's what I recognize, that during this Virgo eclipse energy that we're going through right now, there's a lot of eclipsing of emotions and feelings. And as I wrote this book, I spoke of my Auntie Elaine, I spoke of my kids, I spoke of all of my animals in my life, and I cried and I laughed, and it was incredible. And I wrote it in the book that Danielle gave me for my birthday. And song in the background, Baby, You're on My Mind. Happy birthday. I'm so grateful you were born. Your magic, beauty, presence, generosity, and light are a gift in my life, and I will enjoy witnessing your story unfold, and look forward to one next hike in the Red Rocks. This journal is intended for your dream analysis. With love, Danielle. And it's funny because it is a new birthday for me, because that little fox, that little sad fox, died and was reborn in a bigger, more enlightened fox. And so it was a birthday. As I wrote my story, she says, I will enjoy witnessing your story unfold. And I wrote my story. And it was about my dreams. It was about my dreams. And so for you, I'm giving myself as an example because I can't give you. But right now, understand that everything is possible when you are in alignment with what your soul is asking. Keep a journal. Look at the all-seeing eye wrapped up in that. It's like a dragon's eye, a rainbowed dragon's eye. And I'm an Aries dragon. Rainbow after the storm. There's crystals, all healing crystals all around. I call in the north, the south, the east, the west. I call in the wind, the fire, the earth, the water. I do that every weekly reading. So everything was tied up in this story, this picture. So what is it that we want? What is it that we would like to do, become, or witness, or be a witness of? Do it lovingly and honestly, and allow your soul to guide you gently on your sacred path. If I can help you, if you've resonated with this reading, please click the like button, the subscribe button, and please share. And if I can help you with a private reading, my website is www.theangelswhisper.com. My email address is Sherricolumbus@yahoo.com. SherriColumbus, all one, @yahoo.com. Take care. Love you.